What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So I just uploaded my Treasure Map Sugo Fest video poll, so if you guys haven't seen that yet, make sure you go ahead and peep that video out, so you guys would see from that video about the characters that we were able to pull. So unfortunately, we did not get Lucky Roo, which is fine, you know, it is what it is. I'm not expecting to pull the newest, highest boosted unit every single time, and we still do not earn V2 Big Mom, so we can automatically put those characters down, but other than that, we are good to go. So this video today is me breaking down the teams that I am personally going to be using for the upcoming treasure map against Shanks and Beckman. Now, obviously, these are not the teams that everyone is going to be able to build. If you guys want a more free-to-play centric team build, go check out my preparation video, which also did upload yesterday as well. I highly suggest watching that video if you are struggling to come up with ideas for this specific treasure map. But let's get into it. So first of all, with these highest boosted units, we want to obviously run them against the bosses. So we're going to be running the new Yasop and the new Rockstar character against the Akainu boss, of course. Now, also against Akainu, as I suggested, Luffy and Law is the best captain against the Akainu boss. He just wipes the floor with that particular boss. So for myself personally, if I ever encounter a Lucky Roo friend captain, I will opt to use them as a friend captain because they provide lots of boosts, and even though they're not a really good captain, Luffy and Law will carry us through a lot of the earlier navigation levels, and it'll just provide us with a lot more points. So from here, another character we want to add is this Ace character because he's a 1.5 times point booster, which is really good. And his special ability is really good against Akainu because at the final boss Akainu on stage 7, your captains will get their specials rewinded by 2 turns. And then with Ace, he's able to rewind them back. So that's really useful to have. And on top of that, when you use his special, he's a 3 times chain locker. So just all in all, like, this Ace is perfect for the Akainu boss fight. And also because Perona is a 1.5 booster, I will put her on the Akainu team. Though Perona herself doesn't really help that much in this fight, it's just the fact that she's a higher point booster, and that's the main reason why I put her here. Because other than that, that's just a free position for any other character to be put there. Obviously, if I had the booster Lucky Roo, he'd be going in this position here, of course, but it is what it is. For Shanks and Beckman, we can talk about them a little bit later because you can run whatever units you want because the intrusion battle does not have overlap with the rest of the battle rush bosses here, so you don't really have to worry about that. So we'll leave Shanks and Beckman till last. Now, it's kind of good because for each of these boss fights, essentially there's like a free-to-play unit that helps you clear it very easily. So against Aokiji, the free-to-play unit that helps you clear easy is this new, well, not new, but a unit that really not many people have used since they come out on Global is the Sengoku and Garp dual unit. They're really nice because their special ability provides the ability to remove all positive buffs on your team. And what happens is on stage 6, you encounter a mini-boss Hina, Django, and Full Body, and they apply a 1% attack and all boost to your team, so you don't want that. So you can use their special to remove that. So it's really nice to have them, and also the fact that with Sengoku, he's an int character who's really good against the boss Hina on stage 6, and then Garp is Dex, which is good against the boss Aokiji on stage 7. So just this character is built for this particular fight, and just everything about them makes this fight easier. Now, another thing that you need against this fight is a character that removes Bind and Despair. Now, the best character for that is definitely this dual unit, Ivankov and Bon Clay, who actually rainbowed as well. Like, this character is really, really good. Removes Poison, Recovery Down, Blindness, and Bind and Despair by 5 turns. So a perfect unit because your captain gets despaired, I think it's for 5 turns, and you also get binded on your right column for 5 turns. So it's really nice to have them to remove that bind on this side of your team. Something else that is actually noteworthy as well is on stage 6, when you've got the mini-boss Hina, you get, well, the enemy has a Rainbow Shield % damage reduction, and a really good way to get rid of that is using this dress-up Sanji. He will reduce enemies' % damage reduction and threshold by 2 turns, and that's exactly what you need. It's only 2 turns of % damage reduction, so from here, our team is ready to go. Like, we've got everything ready on this team to get around all of the debuffs on this particular boss fight. So at this point, we can leave this and come back to it a little bit later. So with Kizaru, again, the free-to-play character that's going to help you clear this is going to be Doflamingo and Treble. They are ridiculously useful for this fight because with Kizaru, he lowers your chain for 5 turns, and you could definitely use someone like Raid Cracker, I think, right? Raid Cracker. He reduces chain multiplier limit by 5 turns. Yeah, I think that counts. Or maybe it's chain coefficient reduction. I don't remember. I think he might not work. But either way, this is what you want to use anyway because he locks your chain for 2.75 for 1 turn. And if you hit a certain amount of perfects, you get a 3.25 chain boost in the next turn. So it's really, really nice to have. And also the thing is when you kill Kizaru, he revives and makes all of your type orbs negative for, I think it's 5 or 4 turns. The thing is with the switch ability of this unit, is it listed? It's not even listed here. Oh my god. Okay, I have to go to the database. Okay, but the really cool thing about this unit is that when you use their switch effect, strength and dex orbs will be beneficial for your crew for 1 turn, and that will still be active when Kizaru dies. So when he revives, you will have already a buff that grants an orb as beneficial or non-beneficial, so you can completely counter his debuff. So everything about this unit literally counters the entire kit of the boss Kizaru. So at this point, you can just fill out the team with cerebral or driven units, because that's the captain ability of this unit. They will boost the attack of driven and cerebral by a differing factor depending on which character is out at the time. So like, this character is perfect for clearing Kizaru, and at this point we have everything that we need to get around this boss. So now let's move over to Blackbeard. Now with Blackbeard's boss, with this time around, he will go ahead and make you get 7 turns of attack down, and he changes all of your orbs into empty and block orbs. So again, the first free-to-play unit that comes to mind is Edward Weevil. Edward Weevil is really good here because he has a special ability that removes attack down by 20 turns, and he will give your crew a 2 times attack boost. But the enemy does have to have an immunity buff, which Blackbeard also has. So Weevil is built for taking on this Blackbeard fight, but remember, we still get a full board of empty and block orbs. So the character that can help you get rid of that is this dual unit Smoker and Toadskii, because they have a really nice effect actually. Which again is not listed here, which is kind of annoying, but their switch ability will go ahead and randomize recovery, empty, G, and bomb orbs. So you can go ahead and use their switch ability, get rid of the empty orbs on your team, and their special ability will change all of the type orbs and block orbs into matching, which is perfect. It's absolutely perfect. You can use this character to essentially get a full board of matching orbs, aside from if you get 10 or more recovery orbs. But still, this unit is really nice here, and is also a slasher character. When Toadskii is out, it's a slasher, and when they combine into their dual form, it's also a slasher. So at this point, for captains, I think it's a pretty easy choice. I'm going to be going with V2 Mihawk, and if I'm running V2 Mihawk, I'm going to run V2 Zoro to get more beneficial orbs. As Mihawk makes Dex and Int appear more often, he's going to make him beneficial as a sub-unit. And at this point, we can just fill it in with another slasher character. So this team is essentially built at this point. Against the Kobe fight, I really don't care about Kobe's fight that much. Myself personally, I just want to run through it as quick as possible. So I'm going to be running double NL with Coliseum Kid. And at this point, we can just run filler units to get more boosts and stuff like that. So I guess at this point, we can start filling out the rest of these teams. So with Aokiji, we want to fill it out with more fighter characters. So if we filter by fighter, we can see that we have this guy up here as a 1.35 booster, so I definitely want to run them on the team to get more boosts. And then, well, we got no 1.35 boosters, so now we can run whatever we want. I'm going to run this Sabo here because when Sengoku and Garp, when they are combined, and also when Sengoku is out, they're classified as cerebral characters. So at this point, Sabo is perfect here because your captain has to be cerebral for the effects to activate with his special. So if we can actually go ahead and export this team to the calculator, and you guys will see how much damage this team can do. So we're at least guaranteed these 3 matching orbs here pretty much with Sengoku and Garp and also Sabo, and then using one of their specials and Sabo's special, 7 million towards Aokiji on the final boss fight. It's gonna be great. So, you know, I'm not really too worried about that fighter team whatsoever. Now against Kizaru, at this point we want to run characters that are either cerebral or driven. So let's click cerebral. We have 2 characters here, the Ben Beckman and Shanks unit, which is actually achievable through the treasure map, as well as the dual unit Croc and Robin. So I'm going to run both of these characters on this team just to fill it out and get more points, of course. So that's going to work out quite well. Do we have any driven characters at the top? We don't. So at this point, we can run just other cerebral or driven characters here. I think a really good call would be CatDog, because CatDog, they provide an attack and a color affinity boost here, so that'd be quite good. Or we can get an orb boost if we use them on the turn prior. So overall, I think CatDog's a really good choice, and I think another strength character would be a good call here as well. Coliseum NL would be a good call because they can provide a guaranteed matching orb. So yeah, I think I am going to use Coliseum NL just to fill out the rest of that team there. 4.78 boost, and if we go ahead and filter out all of this team and set it up correctly, so on the first turn of attacks, this is going to give us 4.1 million damage, and remember, this doesn't include the buffs that you get from the treasure mode bird, so this is going to be enough damage definitely for a pretty long time. Not really too phased about that one. Now against Blackbeard, we want to fill it out with a slasher character to finish it off, and we have Lucci and Kaku here, so that is going to be great. Dude, this team is actually going to be doing crazy damage here. So at this point, we're going to have Kaku out. As soon as we enter the fight, we're going to switch to Kaku, so he's a slasher, and for this one, we're going to have Toadskii out, but remember, we are going to use their special at the final boss room. So we're going to have basically a guaranteed full board of matching orbs, so that's going to be great. And then we can go ahead and use the Dracula Mihawk special. We can use the Edward Weevil special for the attack boost, and I guess that's kind of it. Like, that's already going to be 15 million damage, and that's not including cotton candies and the buffs from the treasure map bird. So again, that team is going to be very, very easy to just destroy Blackbeard with. And then for the final team, we can just chuck in the rest of the highest point boosters that we want, because we are basically just running just a random team at this point. And I guess we can run Garp here because he can give a 30% health cut through Kobe's barrier. So that actually be quite nice if Kobe starts getting a little bit too much HP. But not really too phased about Kobe whatsoever. So at this point, all of our regular teams are built. So moving on to Shanks and Beckman, there's actually lots of things you have to take into consideration here. The fact that on the final boss stage, there's bind, attack down, paralysis. There's just a lot of things you have to take into consideration. But saying that, I am just going to be running the highest point booster team that I can possibly build. So again, it's going to be running double Luffy and Law. We're also going to be running basically the same boosters as we are for the Akainu team. It's not going to be the exact same, but it's going to be pretty close. So we're running this team at the moment. Now, remember, we have to still remove paralysis on our captains. Now, a character that actually removes paralysis is going to be this character. Your rogue is great because he will go ahead and remove paralysis and burn by 3 turns. And that's mainly the only reason why we have him here, is because of the fact that he can remove burn. Now, of course, we don't have any int character on this team, so eventually I might have to switch up some units on this team. Maybe this ace will have to be replaced by another character, and at that point we would want to have to bring another character to remove bind. But for the early stages of treasure map, I don't really think this team is going to have too many issues clearing Shanks and Beckman, but eventually I think it definitely will cause some problems. But overall, that's going to be the full rundown of my specific teams and just breaking down my thought process of how to build these teams for the upcoming treasure map. So hopefully this helps you guys out a little bit. And of course, you know, for these final teams with Shanks and Beckman and Akainu, if you don't have Luffy and Law, basically you want to be trying to run Luffy and Law friend captain. And I know it's kind of a shitty thing to say, but like, it's the best unit to help you clear it as easy as possible. Obviously, it's not a requirement to use them, but it makes it very, very easy. The other character that you could potentially use would be Luffy and Ace, because they have a switch ability that removes slot bind on themselves. Or another thing is to just use a character that has the full rainbowed effect of removing slot bind on themselves. Having that will be very, very useful for this fight, because that's one of the main components here, is the fact that Akainu applies that slot bind, which means that you don't get any beneficial orbs unless if you have a way to remove it. So either having the character rainbowed or having the switch ability to remove the slot bind is going to help you out a lot during this fight. But there we go, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video today. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure to leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But other than that, guys, I will see you guys within the next video.